Hello, everyone, and thank you. This is the official welcome to the back room tonight. We're really, really happy that so many came out to hear these four incredible authors. I'm looking forward to talking to them. We're going to have a great time when we getting to know them now in this little introductory part of the program, and then hearing all about their books in the breakout room. So, for those who haven't been here before and don't know who I am, my name is Karen Dion, and I'm one of the co-founders of the back room. I am also a published author. I am a USA Today and #1 internationally best-selling author of two psychological suspense novels that are set in Michigan's Upper Peninsula wilderness, The Marsh King's Daughter and The Wicked Sister. They're published by G.P. Putnam Sons in the US and had been translated in 28 languages around the world, which is very cool. The Marsh King's Daughter was named one of the best books of 2017 by iBooks and many other booksellers and reviewers. It won the Barry and the Crimson Scribe Awards, and it was released by Lionsgate last year around this time as a major motion picture starring Daisy Ridley and Ben Mendelsohn. Josh is the author of the Ben Packard series. His first book, And There He Kept Her, was a Barnes& Noble monthly mystery thriller pick, and it was selected as best mystery by both Amazon and Apple editors. And his second novel, Where the Dead Sleep, was described as a well-paced whodunit and devastating by the New York Times. His third book, you can hold it up now if you've got one, A Long Time Gone, there it is, publishes February 4, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's like 2 days from now,
It
right?
is exactly 2 days from now.
So congratulations. So just a final detail, Josh is a two-time finalist for the Lambda Literary Award for Best LGBTQ plus mystery. And Joshua lives in Minneapolis with his husband. So nice to have you here, Josh.
Thank you, Karen. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah. Marcie Rendon, you're next. And Marcie is a White Earth Nation citizen, author, playwright, and poet. Also a community arts activist. She supports other Native artists and writers and creators to pursue their art. And she's a speaker for colleges and community groups on Native issues. And when you talk to her in the breakout room and you hear the topics of her books, you'll know why she is so passionate about Native American issues. Marcie was a guest here once before, and we heard about one of her other novels. The novel we're featuring tonight published last September, and it's Where They Last Saw Her. Kirkus Review gave it a starred review, and she said, Rendon's book will break your heart, but it will also inspire and inform. And Library Journal, again, a starred review, said, a tragic, unforgiving crime novel that emphasizes the perils of the foster care system for Indigenous children. Yeah, so very, very good. Thanks for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now we have Vincent. Hi, Vincent. Uh,
Hello.
Vincent and Hank met at the Boston Book Festival a little while ago, and Hank tells me she was so taken with you and your story and your writing that she says, we got to have her in the back room, and here you are. So Vincent Tirado, this is the official bio, is a non-binary Afro-Latina Bronx native. Their first novel, Burn Down, Rise Up, was recognized with the Pura Belpré Award and is a Bram Stoker and Lambda Literary Award finalist. Since then, they've written We Don't Swim Here and a short story in the anthology The Black Girl Survives in this one. Now, those books were young adult, correct? Am I,
Yes.
and so your new book, We Came to Welcome You. No, excuse me. Yes, We Came to Welcome You. I got the title right. There it is. And yeah, it's got an amazing cover. So the quote that I pulled for you was from Booklist, and they call We Came to Welcome You a creep-tastic, tongue-in-cheek combination of the Stepford Wives and Invasion of the Body Snatchers, all wrapped up into a cookie-cutter suburb nightmare. Wow. Okay, so we're very much looking forward to hearing more about that. When they're not writing, Vincent can be found making another pot of coffee and harassing their cat, Bugsy. All right, last but not least, but always last because of your last name, Wilson. Carter Wilson. Carter is the USA Today bestselling author of 10 critically acclaimed standalone psychological thrillers, as well as numerous short stories. He is an ITW Thriller Award finalist, a five-time winner of the Colorado Book Award, and his books have been optioned for television and film. Additionally, he is the host of the Making It Up podcast, which you got to check it out. I was a guest on, and you're a fantastic interviewer,
Oh,
Carter.
thank you.
So, when you've got a good interviewer, the podcasts are always fun. So, yeah, just look it up. From the links are on your website, I'm sure. Pick a random podcast; they'll all be great. Yeah. So he's very, very busy. He also provides coaching services, writers retreats, and online classes. So he's got a lot going on. Carter's latest thriller is Tell Me What You Did. Yeah, you can hold it up
Huh?
there. It published January 25, so that's very, very new too.
Yep.
And you're on book tour now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we got to snag you while you're on your tour. It was also a Barnes and Noble Our Monthly pick for February. So that's really, really cool. When you think about those sorts of honors, how many books were published in February? And they've zeroed in on yours and picked it
Yeah.
as
I'm
people
very grateful.
should do. Yeah, that's very awesome. So Carter lives in Erie, Colorado, in a Victorian house that is spooky, but isn't haunted, as far as you know, right?
Not yet.
Yeah. So that's yeah, again, we're so happy to have all of you here. I know we're going to have a lot of fun during the program tonight. But to give the audience a chance to get to know you a little bit, we're going to play our 20 questions game, which it's really just 12 questions because 20, we'd be here all night, right? But 12 questions doesn't sound any good. Anyways, we have these official backroom cards and they have questions on the back. So I'm going to ask the questions in the order that I see you. Marcie, you're first. And your question is, where do you write?
Well, I write on a laptop and I write just about any place where I can do this. I have grandkids living with me off and on. So I write at my kitchen table, I write at this table, I write in the car, I write in a hotel room,
Oh,
you name it. I can, as long as the laptop is charged, I can sit there in doctor's offices.
wow, that's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes people who aren't writers have this mystique and they think, oh, you've got your quiet time, but it doesn't sound like there's any quiet time in your life, and it's all in bits and pieces, right?
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, obviously it works because you turn out wonderful fiction.
Thank
All
you.
right, Carter, what's the first thing that you do when you get an idea for a book?
I don't write it down. I the idea is if I have an idea for a book or a lingering thought, and I'm usually working on something else at the time, and I've got months left to finish, I'm like, if that idea is still in my head, then maybe that's what I write next. So it's whatever survives.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because ideas, they just come when you're not expecting them. And like you
Right.
say, the ideas usually come when you're still finishing the book you're working on. And so
Right. And
it's
it's always a very vague whatever because I don't outline. So it's just a very tiny little something that's enough to give me goosebumps, and then hopefully I'll remember it.
But I like that. So the test of a good book. Does
Vincent
the
looks
author
horrified.
remember it or not? That's great. Vincent, would you please name one of the authors that you admire most?
Clay McClaw Chaplin, hands down. That man puts out like 4 books a year, all horror, and I'm just like, when do you breathe? Like when do you take the time to do something else that's not writing?
Uh-huh. And a question I want to know more about in the breakout room is like when you write horror, how can you like have those awful things in your head and still be a nice person?
It's definitely a juggling sort of thing. Sometimes I don't want to be nice, but I have to live in a society, so I need to be nice with other people.
All right, very good. You got your nice face on tonight. We're with that. Joshua, what fictional character would you want to spend a day with? Fictional.
Fictional character. Um, that's
It's a harder question than it
a
looks.
really hard question. Oh my gosh, I'm totally unprepared for this.
Yeah.
You could do TV too. That's my mind goes straight to TV character.
Does it really?
All right, Carter, we'll let you answer it.
No,
No.
defer to Josh. Let him suffer.
I'll tell you, I mean, when Carter mentioned TV, we're watching Ripley right now on
Oh,
Netflix,
so
and I would
good.
tell you I don't want to spend the day with Tom Ripley. I'm
Okay.
probably gonna get my head bashed in.
I'll take that as an answer, no problem. Yeah. And so now, before we go into the breakout rooms, we've asked each author to come prepared with a book recommendation because, authors, we write books, but we're readers too. And so, Marcie, tell us what book you're recommending and maybe just a wee bit about it and why it's special to you.
Yeah, so the book that I just love that I read and met with at Out of Hand, not Out of Hand, Once Upon a Crime here in Minneapolis. She came and did a reading, but it's Exposure. And I don't have a copy because I always pass my books on. It's just for me, it was a whole new take on writing about a serial killer and the way that the targeting of Native people in the city of Gallup, New Mexico. Fiction, but yeah, all
Mm-hmm.
could be true.
Okay, very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Carter, what book are you recommending?
So I'm recommending The 13th Step by Lou McCreary. This was the last thing that Lou wrote before his faculties kind of left him. And so but I'm not recommending it because of that. I'm recommending it because it's a fantastic book and it's a mystery. In short, it's simply, it's a support group that the support group turns kind of homicidal, which is fantastic.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, a little touching, but yes, nice. Vincent, what are you recommending?
I am recommending Coup de Grace by Sophia Ajram. It is a fantastic work of speculative fiction about a character who is suicidal. It felt like breathing for the first time for me when I read it. Because I had in my past I had struggled with suicidal ideation myself, and so reading it felt like this is exactly what it's like. Nothing makes sense, but the one thing that you set out to do, even if it's hurtful for everybody else around you. So I adore the book.
Hmm.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. It's not one that I would have normally been on my radar, and that's what we love about, having the other authors making recommendations. I'll get it. Joshua, your recommendation, please.
I am recommending Rabbit Hole by Kate Brody. This is her debut novel. I met her last year at the Tucson Book Festival and read this book for a panel that we were on together and was just absolutely astounded by it. It's about a young woman whose sister disappeared 10 years ago, and her father ends up committing suicide, which is in the very first page of the book. I'm not spoiling anything. And as she's kind of going through her father's things, she finds out that her father's been researching what happened to her sister all this time. He's been very active on Reddit and on these true crime communities. And she literally well, not literally, she goes down this rabbit hole of this online kind of community and conversation about her family and what happened to her sister and um, the people that she meets through that. And she just kind of goes more and more off the rails as the story goes along. And it's just amazing writing about being a young woman in our society today. It's amazing writing about sisters, about daughters and fathers. And I was just really stunned by everything about this book. It's incredible.
Wasn't that fun? We hope you enjoyed this taste of what a backroom event is like. The best part comes immediately after when the audience is divided into 4 breakout rooms and the authors visit each room in turn. We'd love to show you what a breakout session is like because these relaxed face-to-face conversations between authors and readers are the hallmark of our backroom events. But breakout sessions are never recorded. What's said in the backroom stays in the backroom.